You don't need more time. You need more clarity. When you look at July 8, 2025, you don't need to ask what's going to happen. You need to ask what is already happening inside of you. You see, people wait for signs. They wait for change to come from the outside. But the moment you say, only one day left, the question is not what will happen tomorrow. The question is, what are you going to do today? It's not about panic. This is not fear. This is urgency. And there is a big difference. Panic is when the mind loses control. Urgency is when the mind becomes sharp, focused, disciplined. And now we are talking about something important, something real. Let's speak about July 8. The energy of this day is not coming from the stars. It is coming from your inner resistance. You feel the weight of what you have delayed. You feel the things you know you should have done, but didn't. And when only one day is left, all your excuses lose their value. They don't stand anymore. There is no more time to wait. No more room to escape into comfort. July 8 is the reminder. It is the echo of your own decisions. You see, the truth is the transformation doesn't begin on July 10. It already began, but did you show up for it? Were you awake when the signal was given? Or were you still lost in distraction, lost in routine? This is what I want you to understand. Urgency used the right way is your best teacher. When there is only one day left, you finally stop wasting time. You stop chasing what doesn't matter. You start choosing what is necessary, not what is easy, not what is popular. What is necessary? The mind sharpens in urgency. It learns to see clearly. It learns to say no. That's what July 8 gives you. Not fear, not pressure, but clarity. Now the question is, are you ready to see what you've been avoiding? Let's be honest. People don't change until they are forced to, until the storm is already at the door. But why wait? Why do you need the universe to scream at you before you act? Can you not hear the whisper of July 8? Can you not hear the gentle push of this moment asking you to rise? This is not just about time running out. This is about excuses running out. Stories running out, comfort running out. What's left is the raw truth. Are you living as you should? Are you walking your path? Are you honoring the gift of your own breath one day? That's what you have. One day to move, one day to act, one day to align yourself with what you truly are. Because tomorrow is not promised. You know this, I know this. So why keep living like it is? If there is anything you have been delaying, July 8 is not a warning. It is an opportunity. The last call to return to yourself, to look in the mirror and say, no more lies, no more hiding, no more half effort. It's time to become the person you say you want to be. And this does not require noise. It does not require chaos. It requires stillness. In that stillness, you hear what needs to be done. You hear what is calling you. The only question is, will you listen? You see, when you live every day as if only one day remains, your life becomes real. You stop performing. You stop comparing. You stop waiting. You act. You sharpen. You breathe. And in that breath, everything changes. So ask yourself today on July 80, what are you avoiding? What truth are you refusing to face? What strength inside you have you buried beneath comfort? This is the moment to retrieve it. This is the moment to remember. July 8 is not the end. It is the final whisper before the shift, not outside, but inside. You are not preparing for a storm. You are preparing for yourself, for the next level of your life, for the next test, the next challenge. And it won't wait for you to feel ready. It will come. So prepare now. Discipline is not about punishment. It is about precision. Living one day with full awareness is better than living 1 year in distraction. Can you do that today? Can you live July 8 with awareness, with presence, with total honesty? If yes, then you don't need more time. You have already begun, and that is enough. July 8 is not just another day on the calendar. It is a mirror, and when you look into it, you don't see the date. You see yourself. Most people don't understand this. They keep waiting for something special to happen on July 10th. But the truth is, if you wait for July 10th to change you, you will already be too late. The shift does not begin on the outside. It starts within you, and it starts now. What is a threshold? A moment when you cross from one state of being into another. Not because the world changed, but because you changed. July 8th is that moment. The moment you finally stop pretending. The moment you stop distracting yourself. The moment you start paying attention to what's real. You want a sign. This is your sign. You want the universe to speak to you. It already has. In the silence, in the discomfort, in the restlessness you've been ignoring. That's the language of transformation. But you were looking for something louder, something dramatic. That's the mistake. If you understand this, July 8th becomes the most important day of the year. Not because something will fall from the sky, but because you finally realize that it's your decision, your responsibility, your life. This is when you stop outsourcing your power. This is when you claim it back. People always ask, what's going to happen on July 10? But that's the wrong question. What's going to happen if you don't change by July 10? That's what matters. Because life won't wait. Energy keeps moving. Time keeps flowing. The door opens and then it closes. And if you're still asleep when it does, you miss it. Don't treat this moment like a trend. It's not entertainment. It's not a prediction. This is practice. This is real life. The tension you feel right now, it's your old self trying to hold on. But it knows it can't survive what's coming. That's why July 8th feels different. That's why your thoughts feel heavier, because you are meant to release something now. And you don't need to figure out everything at once. You only need to be honest. Ask yourself, what has July 8th revealed to me? What patterns am I still repeating that no longer serve me? What am I afraid to let go of? It's okay to feel uncertain. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. That's part of the process. But it's not okay to ignore it anymore. If you've been pretending, stop. If you've been postponing your growth, stop. If you've been living someone else's life, stop. Because July 10 comes, it won't ask if you're ready. It will just arrive and you will either be prepared or not. The shift is not in the calendar. It's in your discipline. It's in your thoughts. It's in how you respond to today. So again, don't wait for July 10. Use July 8. Use the energy. Use the reflection. Stand in front of yourself and tell the truth. This is where I am. This is what I must do next. No more delay. That is what it means to cross the threshold. And crossing it doesn't mean everything becomes easy. It means you become aligned. You stop carrying things that drain you. You stop living from fear. You start listening to the part of you that knows what's right, even if it's difficult. That's the power of July 8. It is not about prediction. It is about preparation. If you take this moment seriously, you will look back one day and say, that was the day I woke up. Not because someone told you to, but because you finally saw it for yourself. And remember, the shift doesn't always look like fireworks. Sometimes it looks like discipline. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like walking away from things that no longer match your values. So stop asking when the change will happen. Realize it already has. You're not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. The way you think today, the way you speak today, the way you act today, all of it creates the energy that carries you into the next chapter. You don't need more noise. You need awareness. You don't need more information. You need responsibility. And most of all, you don't need July 10 to prove anything to you. You only need July 8 to remind you of what you already know. You are capable of more. You have stayed quiet for too long. You have played small for too long. Now is the time to shift, to cross the line, to step into what you were always meant to become. Let this be the moment. Let July 8 be the mirror that finally wakes you up. Because if you do this right, you don't need anyone to save you. You save yourself, you teach yourself, you carry yourself through. And when you do, you'll realize this was never about the universe changing. It was about you. People underestimate what one day can do. They think change takes months, that growth is slow, that transformation must follow a perfect schedule. But sometimes one single day is all it takes to see clearly. One day can break years of illusion, one decision, one honest moment. That's all. And if there's one thing I want you to realize on July 8th, 2025, it's this: one day can change everything. You are not here to wait. You are here to act. This day to day is not empty. It's not random. It's not just another square on a calendar. It's a doorway. But most people will walk past it, not because it's hidden, but because they're too busy to notice, because they're waiting for July 10th, thinking that's when life will deliver a message. But the message is already here. It's July 8th. And it's asking you, are you willing to move? Let's not pretend. You've had chances before. You felt the pull to grow. You've heard that inner voice, but you kept postponing, kept saying later. And now life has brought you back to the same place again. One more day, one more window, one more chance. Are you finally going to do something with it? The power of one day is not in the time, it's in the awareness. You can live 10 years asleep, or you can live one day fully awake, and everything shifts. What matters is not how long you have, but how honest you are with the time that's given. July 8th is a test, but not from the outside world. The test is from within. Can you take today seriously? Can you treat it as if it matters? Because it does. What you decide today becomes your next chapter. What you avoid today becomes your next regret. And the difference between those two paths is not weeks, it's not months, it's one day. It's this day. People keep asking what's going to happen on July 10th, but they never ask what they're doing on July 8th. And that's the problem. You don't prepare for a shift when it arrives. You prepare before it comes. The moment to act is not when the wave hits. The moment is now. When the stillness feels uncomfortable, when the signs feel subtle, when no one else is watching. That's when growth begins, not under pressure, but in presence. So the question is, what are you doing with today? Are you repeating the same habits, the same thoughts, the same fears, or are you letting go? Are you shedding the false layers? Are you stepping into the version of yourself you've been avoiding? Because that's what this day is for. It's not just to survive, it's to shift. And if you really want to know what's happening around you, it's this the universe is not sending you chaos. It's sending you clarity. It's just that most people are not ready to face it. They want signs in the sky, but the real signs are in your reflection. The way you think, the way you move, the way you choose today, one day. That's all it takes. One day of truth, one day of discipline, one day of letting go. And suddenly your life starts moving in a new direction. But it won't happen unless you step forward. No one can do this part for you. You have to break your patterns yourself. Yeah. You have to sit with the discomfort yourself. You have to choose the next step without guarantees. That's growth. That's courage. That's what July 8th is offering you. This is not the end of something. It's the beginning. And beginnings don't wait for comfort. They arrive when the old ways can no longer continue. And you know this. You feel it. That's why this day feels different. Because something inside you is ready. So don't waste it. Don't look at July and say just one more day. Look at it and say, this is the day. This is the turning point, the one you've been waiting for, disguised as an ordinary moment. And now it's here. What will you do with it? Because when July 10 comes, it will simply reflect what you did today. If you avoided the work, the lesson will repeat. But if you leaned in, if you acted with clarity and courage, then you won't need anything external to change. You will have already shifted inside one day. That's all it takes. And July 8th is that day. You either wake up or you stay asleep. You either move or you hesitate again. But understand this, the door is open right now. It won't stay open forever. So stop overthinking. Stop waiting for permission. Stop doubting if this is the right time. It is right now, July 8th, not tomorrow, not next week. This is the moment. Choose wisely, choose honestly, and everything changes. Most people are trying to fix everything outside of themselves. They plan, they prepare, they wait for perfect timing. They think that if their surroundings change, they will finally feel ready. But it doesn't work like that. You don't need to prepare your calendar. You need to prepare your mind. That's what July 8th is here to remind you. The truth is very simple. You are the environment. You are the timing. You are the reason things shift or stay the same. So instead of rearranging your schedule, start rearranging your thoughts. Instead of changing your routine, change your focus. Instead of counting down to July 10, ask yourself what you're doing with July 8. If your mind is scattered, no amount of planning will help you. If your attention is weak, even the best strategy will fail. And if your heart is not aligned, no path will feel right. That's why discipline of the mind is the first step. Always, July 8th is not about the world changing. It's about you finally understanding that it's not the world that needs to be different. It's your approach, your awareness, your inner clarity. Everything external is just a reflection of how you see, how you think, how you move. People waste so much time waiting for the perfect conditions, but life doesn't reward perfection. It rewards presence. It rewards action taken in the now, and the now is today, not July 10, not some future moment when things feel easier. It's now. July 8, you don't need a better plan. You need a better practice, a practice of waking up each day and asking yourself, am I clear? Am I still? Am I focused? That is what makes the difference. Not what's on your calendar, not what the world is doing, but what you are doing with your own thoughts. When you prepare the mind, everything changes, even if nothing around you does. That is the power of inner work. It shifts your energy, your choices, your response to life. And suddenly, what felt impossible starts to feel simple, not because the world changed, but because you did. July 8 is not loud. It doesn't come with fireworks, but it is a powerful moment to reset your focus, to stop making noise outside and start finding silence within. That silence is where all your answers are. And that silence can only be heard when you stop rushing, when you stop reacting, when you finally sit with yourself. So ask yourself today, what part of me is still busy fixing the outside world? What part of me is still afraid to go inward? Why am I still preparing everything but my mind? Because if your mind is ready, you don't need more time. You don't need more signs. You don't need more reassurance. You just move. You just act with clarity, with strength, with discipline. The problem is not lack of time. The problem is lack of focus. You wake up every day with the same 24 hours, the same breath, the same chance to direct your attention. But most people keep repeating the same noise. They check the world before they check themselves. That's why they stay stuck. But you don't have to. July 8th is your moment to stop, to be honest, to say, if I want to cross into the next chapter, I must prepare the only thing that truly matters, my own state of mind. It's not comfortable. It's not easy, but it's real and it works. The strongest people are not those who plan the most. They are those who are calm inside, disciplined inside, quiet inside. That's what gives them the power to respond instead of react, to choose instead of chase, to lead instead of follow. That's the lesson. That's the teaching. You are not behind. You are not late. You are just distracted. You are just too focused on the external. But July 8 is asking you to come back, to return to what really matters, to the breath, to the awareness, to the self. Because if the mind is clear, even one day is enough. If the mind is strong, even pressure becomes fuel. And if the mind is disciplined, even the unknown becomes familiar. So today, let go of the calendar. Let go of the timing. Let go of what's supposed to happen on July 10th and focus fully on the moment you have now. Prepare the mind. align the breath, silence the noise, because that is where the shift happens. That is where the new begins, not in the world, but in you. And it starts today, July 8th. Discipline is not a punishment. It is a pathway, a way to bring order into your life when everything around you is unclear. And right now on July 8th, this is what you must understand. Without discipline, all this energy, all this talk about change, all these signs, they mean nothing. Everyone wants growth, but no one wants the work. That's why nothing changes. People keep asking what's coming on July 10, but what's coming is not the question. The real question is, will you be ready for it? And readiness is not built on hope. It's built on repetition, on consistency, on the decision to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. You want a shift. You want a breakthrough. Then build the bridge. And that bridge is discipline. The only way from who you are now to who you are becoming is through structure, through effort, through showing up, even when your mind is tired, even when your emotions are loud, even when no one is watching. July 8th is not a magical day. It's a mirror, and it's showing you who you really are under pressure. Do you collapse? Do you make excuses? Or do you rise and do what's necessary? Because the world doesn't need more people who are motivated. It needs people who are steady, focused, unshakable. And that doesn't come from inspiration. It comes from discipline. Look at your habits today on July 8th. Look at your actions. What do they say about your priorities? Are you building or are you drifting? Are you showing up for your path or are you postponing it again? You don't need to wait for July 10 to find out who you are. Just look at what you did today. That's the truth. Discipline is not loud. It's quiet. It's not about extreme action. It's about small things done daily. It's the breath you return to when the mind starts spinning. So it's the moment you say no to distraction. It's choosing to follow through even when you're not in the mood. If you cannot lead yourself, how can you lead your life? If you cannot keep one promise to yourself, how can you handle the pressure of change? That's what July 8th is asking. Not if you want growth, but if you are ready to earn it. Growth is not a gift. It's a result of showing up when it's hard, of practicing even when no one sees, of walking the path without needing applause. Most people want to feel ready before they begin. But discipline teaches you begin first, readiness comes later. And this is not about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest. Are you letting your emotions control your actions? Are you waiting for motivation to strike? Or have you made a choice that your future matters more than your mood? Because once you truly understand that, everything becomes simpler. You stop chasing highs. You stop needing the world to align for you. You wake up and you do what must be done. That's how strength is built. That's how clarity is earned. And it starts today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, July 8th, you either build discipline now or you'll be forced to learn it later when life becomes heavier, when the consequences of delay catch up to you. So use this day. Treat it like a test, not from the outside world, but from your own higher self. Can you stay focused? Can you act with intention? So can you train your mind to follow your purpose instead of your distractions? This is what separates those who transform from those who repeat. The willingness to do what's necessary, quietly, repeatedly, with no shortcuts. If you want a real shift, stop looking for it outside. Build it inside, layer by layer, step by step, breath by breath. That's discipline. That's what prepares you for anything, including July 10. So don't fear what's coming. Don't wait for the universe to force you to act. Choose it now. Build it now. Become the person who doesn't need reminders, who doesn't need pressure, because you've trained your mind to lead. Discipline is not the end of freedom. It is the beginning. The freedom to live with direction, with strength, with peace. The freedom to look at yourself and say, I did not run. I did not delay. I built myself even when it was hard. That's what July 8th is here to give you. The opportunity to choose strength over comfort, Clarity over confusion. Action over hesitation. Make that choice now and everything else will follow. Before anything big happens in life, before any major shift, before any transformation, there is silence. This silence is not the absence of sound. It is the absence of movement, the absence of distraction. It is the stillness that comes before the storm. And this is what many people are feeling right now on July 8th. A strange quiet, a kind of invisible pressure, a sense that something is about to change, but nothing is happening yet. That feeling is not confusion. It is preparation. Most people don't know how to deal with silence. They panic. They search for noise. They scroll, they distract themselves. But in doing so, they miss the signal. Because the truth is, the silence before the shift is not your enemy. It is your warning. Not a warning to fear what's coming. A warning to face yourself before it arrives. This is the space where growth begins, not in the middle of chaos, but in the quiet moment before it. This is where your discipline is tested, where your mind is exposed, where your readiness is revealed. The silence shows you what's real and what's just noise you've been carrying. On July 8th, it's easy to look around and say nothing is happening, but look inside. The shift isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's internal, subtle, silent. You are being prepared only if you stop running from the quiet, only if you learn how to sit still and listen. What are you feeling today? Tension, stillness, uncertainty. These are not problems. These are instructions. Your body is telling you to slow down. Your mind is asking for space. Your energy is pointing you inward. And this is exactly what you need right now. Not more noise, not more movement. You need presence. The reason people don't grow is not because they lack information. It's because they don't stop long enough to hear what they already know the answers are missing. They're buried under distraction. But July 8th is the moment where that distraction weakens, where silence begins to speak. But you must be quiet enough to hear it. You must resist the urge to fill every moment, to overthink, to explain. Just stop, sit, breathe, and in that breath, you will feel it. Something is coming, and you don't need to fear it. You just need to be ready. Stillness is not weakness. It's strength. It's the choice to not react, the ability to stay centered, to observe your emotions without becoming them, to feel the discomfort of the unknown without running away. That's what a July 8th is training you for. The shift that's coming is not only in the world, it's in you. And the stillness before it is where the preparation happens. So don't avoid it. Don't try to speed it up. Just sit with it. You will notice thoughts rise. You will notice resistance. That's normal. Let it come. Let it pass. Stay grounded. Because if you can hold your awareness steady now, you will not be shaken by what comes next. The people who are most prepared are not the loudest. They are the calmest. They don't need to prove anything. They don't need to predict the future. They just breathe, they observe, they remain clear. That is true power. This is what the silence before the storm gives you. The chance to build that power, to build clarity, to build inner balance, so that when the shift happens, whether tomorrow or next week, you meet it without fear. July 8th is not about action. It's about alignment. Align your breath, align your mind, align your attention. This is not wasted time. It is sacred time. It is the space where your next chapter is formed, not through force, but through presence. The world will always keep moving, but you don't have to chase it. You don't have to match its speed. Your work is different. Your work is to slow down enough to feel what is real, to let go of what is not, and to prepare quietly, steadily for what is coming. Don't confuse stillness with being stuck. You are not stuck. You are preparing. You are gathering strength. You are becoming clear. But only if you stop resisting the silence. Only if you stop trying to fill every gap with noise. If July 8th feels strange, heavy, or quiet, that's the signal. That's the moment. Use it. Don't waste it. Let it sharpen you. Let it calm you. Let it remind you that the most important growth always begins in stillness, not in chaos. The storm will come. The change will arrive. That is certain. But your readiness depends on what you do right now. So breathe, sit, listen, and trust the silence. It is not here to scare you. It is here to shape you. Let it.